Hello everyone. So this is going to be a shorter stream today, but I want to start making this super cute friend-shaped seahorse pattern from iulicrochets, and it's probably going to all be pink because I have a lot of pink yarn left over from another project, but I do have some pearl beads that I hope I can make her little necklace. And today we're just going to get started working on the head. I love this yarn because it's super big and soft. So this is basically what the head is going to look like when it's done with this bump on it. I like it because it looks like how seahorses have this almost elephant trunk looking nose. But this is so cute, it looks almost like a bubble. So most amigurumi starts out with about 6 single crochet and a magic ring, which is what we're doing here. But I've seen a few start with 8. It's something that I find really interesting about crochet because it almost reminds me of video game graphics where they go in multiples of 8. Obviously it's starting with 6, but some of them go in multiples of 8, and it's very consistent. Like when you increase, it'll be in a multiple of 8, and I think there must be a reason for that. I just don't know enough about math to say what it is. I have some safety eyes on the way too, so I'm really hoping that I can give her big eyes like this. I noticed also that the example in this pattern is made with a much smaller yarn, so I'm curious how big this will turn out. I didn't realize when I made a dragon with this yarn a little while ago, she turned out gigantic, and I'm so happy with her. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm saving these yarn ends for stuffing later. Well, the light is a little glaring, but I'm glad you can actually see what's going on. Sometimes it does not cooperate. With this yarn, with this row, we're alternating 3 single crochet and 3 increases. So I think this must be where we're making, like, where the head kind of swells. I've actually been wanting to do this pattern for quite a while. I don't remember exactly when I discovered this artist, but whenever I found this artist, it was earlier this year, at some point, I was like, wow, that's a really cute seahorse pattern. Let me get to it. And then life just got in the way. I'm really glad I can do it now, though. I also really like her cat patterns. When this yarn makes like a really puffy shape, it reminds me of clouds. Yeah, I can see it now. Okay. So these are like the sides of the head, I think, and that'll make the cheeks. Hmm. The row after next, we're going to start decreasing, and I think kind of getting smaller down to the nose. Recently, I've been looking at Marvel Rivals. I haven't been gotten a chance to play it yet, but I really like looking at the art style. It's really, really good with shape language and keeping things simple, but it also characterizes everyone really well. If you look at Emma Frost, for example, her hair very straight, very clean. She's got gems all over her outfit, lots of sharp lines and corners, and that helps tell you that her powers are crystalline. She can control diamond. Meanwhile, if you look at Susan, for example, her design has a lot more curves. Her hair isn't as pin straight. Her suit is, it's not like perfectly futuristic, but it's clearly kind of inspired by like 1960s space travel patterns, things like that. So it helps tell you this is her time period. She's clearly not as like jewel focused as all straight lines as Emma is. You usually see force fields drawn in a circular or a kind of, convex semicircle shape. So I think including a lot of curves into her design helps with that. Okay. I might need to get the stuffing sooner than I thought. I think the simplicity of the shapes also helps because this is a hero shooter. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of players, there's a lot of characters, there's so many attacks to keep track of. But if you make sure the characters all have clean, easily readable designs, not so much focused on details, just on really strong shape and color, you can tell everybody apart. Like if you look at Penny Parker, for example, she looks nothing at all like Blade. And there are some video games that just like overload their characters with detail, which ironically makes them all kind of look the same, like the Michael Bay Transformers. because if you give the human brain too much detail, it kind of just like tunes out. But if you focus on like a couple of strong details, for example, then you go, oh, that's that character. Like Penny has these cute pigtails. Emma Frost has what's the YouTube friendly way to say this? She has a powerful lower body that you know, oh, that's that character. And it doesn't have to be just one strong detail, but giving each character those kind of hooks to hold on to, super, super useful, especially if you have to tell them all apart at a glance. Okay, so this round we just did a bunch of decreases and now we're going to increase in the same place as all those decreases. So I think this is going to be the nose. For a long time, I didn't know that Sonic had his own racing series. And now I feel silly about it. Because A, as a rival to Mario, of course he does. B, as the fastest thing alive, maybe he's not the only fastest thing on feet. Maybe he's also the fastest on wheels. And I don't know, dude. I wasn't expecting him to collaborate with Miku in Persona 5, but it's fun. I like to imagine these kind of characters hanging out like people would do. Like imagine this pop star hanging out with a high schooler slash phantom thief. And I don't think Sonic has a job, but whatever Sonic is, they're friends now. I'm gonna go get this stuffing real quick. This is some leftover yarn from other projects. Speaking of character design too, I think it's really interesting and this speaks to a strong design when it's not that complicated, but you always know what it is. Miku's design, for example, is not super complicated. She has a lot of color blocking. Her colors are mainly teal, gray, and black, which I don't think are used for mascots super often, at least not the gray and black. Like they're neutrals, but they can be seen as like serious or more sad. But with her, I think they're supposed to look like software or technology. because that's what she represents, obviously. And she's wearing like a kind of school uniform, but obviously modified to look more like a costume, like she's wearing it on stage. And she has her pigtails, obviously, super, super important. People usually recognize her by her pigtails. And I feel like that on its own is not like, it's not like outrageously unique. But because it's strong and it's simple enough that you can, it's like a blank slate. Like you can mess with it. She can wear different outfits for music videos, but you can always tell it's her because they follow the same silhouette. That makes it a good design. Like usually I would say focus on the uniqueness, but because Miku is a mascot, she's she's not like a typical character design. She has a different purpose that works. If you keep her base design simple, kind of like Eevee in Pokemon, and then it has all its evolutions that are more different, you can look at her and go like, okay, how would she look if she was wearing like a rock themed outfit? How would she look if she was wearing a cheerleader themed outfit? Or if she was dressing like a pop star? She's a pop star, but you get what I mean. And that gives you room to experiment. Let me count real quick. This row needs to have 24. I'll count when I'm done this row. Let me see. I wonder, I think you see that teal associated with technology too, but I wonder if Miku's hair color comes from the idea of green and blue representing like youth, life, things like that. 15, 18, 21. Well, time to increase. Let me see. 2, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Okay, let me take out one more. Okay, so next year we're gonna increase some more. Starting with 7 single crochet. Oh, I think I was looking at it wrong. Okay, so we started by making the nose, and now we're making the bigger part of the head. I think later we're gonna kind of sew the nose a little bit, but I'm not sure. fun to make flowers with this kind of yarn because it would make them really fluffy. Not right this second, but one day. Okay, next we're going to do 2 rounds of single crochet. One second, I'm going to switch to the microphone, please. Okay, that should be better. I think this pattern should work up pretty quickly. Okay. I feel like when you first increase a lot, it can look really ripply. And then as you continue with just single crochet, it smooths out. I wonder if I'll have like even more yarn left after this because I'm trying to use it all up. But I also want to make sure I have enough to like complete a project. After this, we're doing a lot more increasing. So now I think we're at the widest part of the head. I think one day I want to make like a really fluffy rose with yarn like this. It's one of my favorite flowers, and I always like when they're double, when they have like tons of petals, and they almost look like a pom pom. Another thing I like about this yarn is it's really squishy. It has a kind of spring to it. So once this is finished, I think it will be really fun to cuddle. Okay, this is just the head and it's already turning out to be really big. So I'm hoping this will be like a big, cute plushie. I'm not sure if I'll make it all on stream either, but I'll try. Let me move some stuff real quick. Okay, This row is going to end with just 4 single crochet. Sometimes I read to the end of the row to make sure I know where I'm supposed to end up, and that helps me not add too many or too few stitches. Okay, this is just going to be single crochet because we added a bunch more stitches, so we need to smooth it out now. We'll be finishing up soon. I don't think I need to stuff this yet, but I will soon. Almost done this row. Okay, so I think this next row is going to be the last one for today. We're going to add some more stitches, then probably next time, just a couple single crochet rounds, and then we're going to start decreasing. So I think now what we're doing is we're making like the wide part of the head, and then we're going to decrease, stuff it, and tie it off. This color is really light pink. It makes me think of pearls too. I might add like a little loop to the top of this plushie when it's done. And it's clearly way too big to be like a back charm or something. But I think it could be fun to just have it be able to hang on something. Okay, almost done. Okay, here it is so far. It looks almost like a redartish or something. So this is about as wide as the head is going to get. And once we come back next time, we're going to just extend and then decrease it. And that should be about when we can stuff it more. So if I tried to put stuffing in here, it'd fall right out. I'm not sure when I will be streaming next just because I'm pretty busy. So keep an eye on my Instagram, which is in the description, obviously. And depending on how far I schedule in advance, you might see like a pretty early announcement here too.